Hey folks, welcome into the News 12 Now desk. Thanks for joining us here. It's 8 o'clock on our Wednesday, April 24th. Let's take a quick look outside over Grovetown. Sun is up. It is a much nicer morning than we had yesterday. Not nearly as cold, although maybe a little bit chilly as you head out. So just maybe a light jacket. If you saw Tim's stream about 20 minutes ago, you should know what all you need today. I want to remind you, as always, to be sure to download our WRDW streaming app and subscribe to our News 12 YouTube channel. Both of those are free to do, and it'll keep you up to date with everything we've got going here at News 12. But all right, let's jump into our top stories here. We start off with crews last night responding to the scene of a house fire in Evans. This was the scene on Riley Lane, which is in the Birchfield subdivision off Bel Air Road. The fire department says the call came in just before 9 o'clock, and EMS was also on the scene. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office tells us there were no serious injuries, and we're working to learn more on how that fire started. In Augusta, 2 buildings are damaged after a fire yesterday afternoon. This one was at the Fellowship Baptist Church on S.E. McIntyre Boulevard and Meadow Street. The sanctuary itself was not damaged. The fire broke out around 4 o'clock in a storage building. Our Nick Veland spoke with the pastor on how the church is rebuilding.
The pastor of the Fellowship Baptist Church says that they were in the process of remodeling both of these buildings impacted by the fire. But even with what happened, the church will move past this and rebuild better than before. Fire trucks converge on S.E. McIntyre Boulevard. 8 trucks fighting a fire, burning the Fellowship Baptist Church's storage building outside the Fellowship Hall. Pastor Morris Jones is grateful no one was hurt after the uncertainty after receiving the call.
Well, I'm thankful. I'm grateful that it was contained, that it didn't do more damage. I was at work and got that notification, and I saw that fire. I said, wow. I initially called the fire department, the police department, and just went into prayer because the last thing I want is somebody to get hurt.
The fire department received the first call around 4 p.m.
Upon arrival, those crews witnessed smoke and flames coming through the front door and the right side of the building.
The pastor serves this area by Josie High School going on 3 years now, and he says even though the flames rage today, it doesn't stop the church's mission of giving back tomorrow.
Well, the future of this building is going to be Fellowship Resource Center. We're going to use it to tutor the community and feed the community like we use it for now. And hopefully we make a difference in this neighborhood.
And wants his congregation to know that they'll rise from the ashes.
God is still in control. Things are going to happen. But as long as we trust God, He'll have everything to work out. But continue to trust God and just pray and see what God does next. Because He's going to do some powerful things in this neighborhood. We just got to be ready and positioned so when He acts, so we can move on time.
The fire chief says that the cause of the fire is still undetermined and it's an ongoing investigation for the Fellowship Baptist Church. Their main worship area wasn't impacted by the fire, so church services will go on as normal moving forward.
All right, thanks for that, Nick. Traffic backed up after a crash in Aiken County yesterday. North Augusta Department of Public Safety says a chase started in Edgefield County and ended near exit 5 on I-20, causing traffic to be backed up. Roads are reopened and deputies say they're looking for a suspect. We have updates on the Bell Auditorium, and James Brown Arena projects. The Coliseum Authority says the work is complete for the Bell, and an inspector will look over that work today. The basement of the Bell will be transformed into office space to use when the offices at the James Brown Arena are demolished. They say that move will save the project $30,000. Altogether, the changes are building momentum for Augusta's entertainment industry.
So I think the economic boom is going to start with the construction. And the other side of that, with the Bell opening, we got promoters wanting to come to this building, and we've got some shows on the horizon that we hadn't announced yet that I think the city's going to be really excited about.
Work's expected to start on the arena in June, while the Bell is hosting its first show next month on May 31st. Union organizers in Georgia say they have new life after an auto assembly plant in Chattanooga, Tennessee voted to join a union last week. As Doug Richards reports, unions have gotten a chilly reception for decades at the state capitol, but their prospects may be different now.
Many Georgia workers were among those celebrating in Chattanooga last weekend when a Volkswagen auto assembly plant voted to unionize. Union backers say the Volkswagen contract could give them momentum to unionize a Mercedes auto assembly plant next month in Alabama.
And it's not just Georgia, it's the South. Workers are seeing that they're being underpaid. compared to their counterparts in other places.
Yvonne Brooks says the auto workers in Chattanooga have joined laboratory, food, and sanitation workers in Atlanta that have also quietly ratified union contracts. A year ago in central Georgia, workers at a school bus manufacturer called Bluebird unionized at their electric bus assembly plant.
Because we're a right-to-work state.
But at the Capitol, Republicans successfully pushed a bill this year that could limit state incentives for new union-friendly businesses locating in Georgia.
Because your company's getting an incentive from the state that if you legally can offer the secret ballot, that you will.
Governor Brian Kemp signed the union restrictive bill into law Monday.
A part of this bill is just a fad that the states in the South are putting forth.
Brooks says such measures have become politicized, even though she says many Republicans are now quietly playing ball with organized labor.
It's not a partisan issue. It is a worker issue. It's a worker, family, and community issue.
Governor Kemp also says unions inhibit businesses that want to employ workers and make money. Also, Governor Kemp signing bills that impact your kids' schools. One of those is a school voucher bill that provides $6,500 a year for kids who live where schools are failing if their parents choose homeschooling or private schools. The bill impacts several schools in Richmond County that qualify for it. It also provides spending for therapy, tutoring, or early college courses for students. Students from households with incomes less than 4 times the federal poverty level will be eligible. For a family of 3, that's about $100,000. We spoke with a Richmond County parent about the bill.
Gives us the opportunity to get ahead of or to catch up essentially with other school districts around us in terms of how many kids we are able to get on reading level and how many are able to do math computation at grade level.
Also signed by Governor Kemp, requirements for the Georgia Department of Education and school boards to adopt policies on social media, cyberbullying, and internet usage. For a full list of bills signed, head to WRDW.com. In South Carolina, Governor McMaster is signing a new law designed to give farmers another option while helping preserve farmland in the state. In the last 2 decades, South Carolina has lost so much farmland it could nearly make up the size of the city of Greenville. The Working Agriculture Land Preservation Act aims at protecting millions of acres of farmland through a new fund. The fund, through the state's conservation bank, gives farmers money in return for selling their development rights. This protects the development of the land so the farmer can maintain ownership of the property.
In my mind, the state has a compelling interest in saving farmland so that we provide those funds for those families that are being pushed out in some instances, and they don't want to sell, but they don't have another way of doing it.
The law will be funded through the state budget. Right now there's $3 million for it, and senators are debating this week on the spending plan. The beat up and often battered Olive Road Bridge is getting a new look after being hit several times. The most recent being in February when a large box truck rammed into it, knocking down a steel beam. The next layer of security to keep the bridge from being damaged again could be a chain curtain hanging low enough for trucks that are too tall to hit it first before hitting the bridge. Augusta commissioners are working on the solution that would cost $80,000. Traffic engineering says commissioners will consider a motion for the chain curtain in May or June.
It's a more tactile warning device. I mean, obviously it would hit the top of a vehicle. You know, if you're over height and you drove through it, so it would provide more than just a sign or lights or, you know, the things that we already have out there.
We've reached out to CSX for an update on when Olive Road should reopen, and we'll keep you updated as soon as we hear from them. President Biden is expected to deliver 2 commencement speeches next month, one being here in Georgia. The White House says he'll appear at Morehouse College in Atlanta, which is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Senator Raphael Warnock's alma mater. President Biden is also expected to make a speech at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point in New York. He will thank the graduates for serving our country. The president also gave a speech there while he was vice president.
3 times 5 is 15, 3 times 4 is 12, and 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 6.
The Augusta Players performing the musical Schoolhouse Rock at the Miller Theater last night. The show is based on the 1970s Emmy Award-winning cartoon series where a school teacher is nervous about his first day of teaching. While he's watching TV, different characters come to life and show him how to help his students with imagination and music. And I think that was a very popular thing, not just in the 70s, all throughout my school years as well. So Good stuff from them. All right, you can always find out about these stories and much more on our website, WRDW.com. Be sure to check out our streaming app, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss anything that we're doing here at News 12. We got Morning Mix coming up at the top of the hour, and then I'll be back at 10:30 with Mikkel and Emily for First Alert Weather Extra. Have a good one.